October 19th regular meeting of the 35th Council of the City of Berkeley. Ms. Boucher, would you please call the roll?
Councilmember Baker.
Here.
Councilmember Blanchard.
Here.
Councilmember Edgar.
Here.
Councilmember Kadeco.
Here.
Councilmember Stedman.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tim Turbrack.
Here.
Mayor O'Dwyer.
Here. The first order of business is the approval of tonight's agenda. Is there a motion to approve the agenda?
Move to approve.
Moved to approve by Councilmember Kadeco.
Support.
Support by Councilmember Edgar. Are there any changes or additions? Hearing none, then Ms. Boucher, would you please call the roll?
Blanchard.
Yes.
Edgar.
Yes.
Kadeco.
Yes.
Stedman.
Yes.
Turbrack.
Yes.
Baker.
Yes.
O'Dwyer.
Yes. And I see we have Deacon Brian Carroll with us. Would you please stand for the invocation?
O good and gracious God, we give you thanks for all the good gifts you give us. We thank you for this fine fall weather we're experiencing. We thank you for the community of the city of Berkeley. We ask you that you send your Spirit to be with us at this council meeting, that the discussions may be cordial and the decisions wise, and all may be for the building up of the community here in the city of Berkeley. And let us all say, Amen.
Amen.
Please remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And now we come to the citizens' comments portion of tonight's meeting, when you may present your thoughts on issues that are not included on tonight's agenda. Council members will not engage you in discussion. If your concern needs to be addressed by a member of city staff or a department of the city, please sign your name on the sheet provided at the clerk's desk. You may speak on a specific agenda item when it is being discussed. When you come to the microphone, please state your name and city of residence.
Hello. My name is Sarah Anspa. I'm a Berkeley resident. I've lived here for 12 years. And I have two children who are currently attending Angel Elementary School. And I'm here tonight as a representative from the Parent-Teacher Association at Angel. I'm here with a few fellow parents to express our concern over the state of the playground structure at Angel. It's been in disrepair and unable to be used for over a month. We feel that it's a detriment to the school, our children, and the community to have a large portion of the park that is unusable. So we're here tonight to make sure that the city is aware of the situation and continues working along with the school district to remedy the situation as quickly as possible. We know there's been communication, but we just hope it's speedy at this point.
Thank you, Sarah.
Thank you.
Hello, Marty Smith, Earlmont Road, and Planning Commissioner. I want to speak briefly about an issue that comes up every couple months during our meetings. You folks have a few million more viewers than we do, so I felt compelled to bring it up here. Back in September of 2014, during Commissioner comments, a couple have started talking about the Coolidge Road was restriped, but the parking spaces weren't. We asked Amy, she didn't know the answer at the time, and she got back to us in October and said that's a separate contractor, and it's too late in the year. Well, now it's October 2015, and those parking spaces still aren't striped. What happens is people know they can park in these spots now, but they don't know where, so they're all over the place. Example I see all the time, I pass by it every morning, is in front of Lane's Bagels. There used to be 2 spaces there. Now there's 3, sometimes 4, and once I saw 5 cars there. It pinches the traffic lane, the southbound traffic lanes. It's not a good situation. So I just want to bring it to your attention. I'm sure you're aware of it, but we started talking about it, and comes up every now and then, as I mentioned, and here we are a year later, nothing's been done. So I know we can't discuss it here tonight in this venue, but I just want to make sure you folks If you aren't aware of it, you are, and it should be taken care of very soon. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, my name's Lisa Turner, and I've been a Berkeley resident for 5 years. I'm a mom of 3 small children, the ages 5 and under. And I recently started the group Berkeley Residents Against Pesticides, and it quickly grew to 93 members, some of whom are with me tonight. We're here to ask the city to stop spraying harmful toxic chemicals on our parks, at our library, our medians, and any other public spaces. I never really questioned chemicals until I became pregnant with my first child. I had always figured that they must be safe if they're allowed in our products, right? How wrong I was. I've spent hours upon hours researching the harmful effects of chemicals on our children, on ourselves, and to our environment. I've removed all hazardous chemicals within my control from my house, and I do everything in my power to keep my children away from harmful chemicals. That's why I'm so upset that the city of Berkeley is spraying pesticides in our park and at these other places, all places that our youngest, most vulnerable residents frequent with their parents. I actually sat on the Berkeley Environmental Advisory Committee back in 2012 for a year, and my main agenda was toxic chemicals, so I was so relieved to hear we weren't spraying. Nobody mentioned that it was just on hiatus because we didn't have the funds for it. I had to find that out for myself. And then once I realized that pesticides were being sprayed, I asked the city for a list of the chemicals being used and was told I had to file a FOIA request, even though the information was right at their fingertips. So what I received from that FOIA request is absolutely frightening. And what's also frightening is that the city's brushing off the severity of the issue by masking this as feeding nutrients to the soil, when in reality 90% of what you guys are having sprayed is herbicides, some insecticides, and maybe 10% is fertilizer. The U.S. Center for Disease Control and Prevention, the CDC, in a study of 9,282 people nationwide, found pesticides in 100% of them when they tested their blood and their urine. The pesticides being sprayed on our parks and our public spaces are linked to cancer, they're linked to endocrine disruption, they're linked to reproductive issues, they're neurotoxins, they're known to damage liver and kidney. They can cause sensitization, and they can cause birth and developmental defects. And I looked up every single chemical that we're spraying. They are linked to all of these things. So we can't deny that these pesticides aren't safe. Why are we spraying these horribly toxic chemicals in the first place? Is the risk worth it? Our parks look great during the 5 years we couldn't afford to spray them. Why not leave good enough alone? Who cares if our parks have a few dandelions? Thank you.
Thank you, Lisa.
Good evening, Council. My name is Latrell Livingston. I'm a 13-year resident of Berkeley, and 13 years ago tonight, a little house on Mortensen that my wife and I were renting, we got married in the backyard. So that means I'm here on my anniversary because it's important enough to my wife and I to talk to you about the same issue that my neighbor Lisa Turner just spoke to you about, and that's the use of taxpayer dollars to spray our parks. Lisa talked to you about the science. The things that came from the FOIA requests that we sent on to the city were simply terrifying, and this was not because of some internet research that was done. These are the materials provided by the vendor, and I encourage all of you to take a look at them when you assess what to do on this. But I think about $6,000, and I went to Angel last week and I wanted to take my kids to play in that park, and it seems like $6,000 could be well spent helping rebuild the play structure at Angel, or having free lessons at the ice center. I can think of hundreds of ways that we can spend our tax dollars better than exposing my kids, 6, 4, and 16 months old, to toxic chemicals. I try my best to watch my 16-month-old, but if any of you have ever been around a 16-month-old, you know that's pretty much impossible. And so I love going to the top park, and was really frightened when one of my neighbors came back and told us about the signs that were up at the top park that they'd been sprayed with chemicals that the vendor that the city paid $6,000 to raise noted were dangerous to children and pets. This is not something that we created. That was the materials provided by the vendor. I also have to say that I was a little disappointed to learn that a staff person at the city had contacted the vendor to discuss when to spray in order to avoid neighbor problems. Well, I have to say your neighbor problems are here. We are concerned about the chemicals that are being sprayed, and I hope that you look carefully at everyone who we have working for us, that they understand that Berkley is a neighborhood. I was very pleased to see, even on an interim basis, our neighbor, Rick Eschman, who understands their community, working appointed to serve as acting city manager. And I hope that when we're looking for a permanent choice for city manager, it's someone that understands this community and respects us as their bosses. Thank you.
Thank you, Luttrell.
Hello, my name's Terry Henriksen. I'm a Berkeley citizen since 1999. I grew up here. I also attended Pat and Gail Anderson and Berkeley High. My granddaughter attends Angel School, and as a child, I never had to worry about whether I could have a playground to go play on. I'm also a member of the PTA, and I volunteer, and I think that the city does need to move a little quicker. I also wrote to your interim Parks and Rec director, who was very polite, responded quickly, and said to me, safety is the first and foremost. I think as a grandparent and as a concerned citizen, safety is also my first and foremost. But I do not believe it's fair for these children to have to go without a place to play, basically, for the school year, for the wheels of motion to go in place. She did tell me there was a report that was supposed to have been done last week in this matter of what they would recommend. Well, Angel's hands are tied till they hear from the city. And we can't raise funds, we can't do anything. So we're looking at least a school year almost with these children not being able to have any activity outside, which is important for their well-being, their emotional state of children, and so on. Burton has a fine playground structure, Pat and Gail does. Angel should too. If the wheels of motion could just move, I think everybody would be happy. So thank you.
Thank you, Terry.
Hi, my name is Eric Bytel. I'm a Berkeley resident. I am the treasurer for the Friends of Berkeley Parks and Rec Group. We're a group of community members who fundraise and provide volunteer services for the city of Berkeley Parks and Rec events. I'm here to introduce myself and my group to the council and talk about our upcoming event. On Tuesday, November 10th from 5 to 9, we'll be having a fundraiser at Patrick J's on 12 Mile, where 20% of all proceeds will go to support our group and its mission to help support the Berkeley Parks and Rec Department. This is going to be a wonderful event for the community to come out and meet our friends group and support Berkeley. It's an open event, and we hope to not only have a good fiscal turnout, but also have meet other people who are interested in helping the Berkeley Parks and Rec Department. If anyone would like more information, we can be found on Facebook, and our email address is friendsofberkeleypandr@gmail.com. Thank you.
Eric, the date of that again, please.
That is November 10th from 5 to 9.
Thank you. Thank you. Oh, we have someone else. Please come.
It's first time, so I didn't know what. All right, my name is Nina Kim, and my husband is Young Kim. But the reason I'm here is, unfortunately, he was very healthy as a person, but now had Parkinson's. He can't talk well, so I'm trying to tell. Yeah, the reason I'm here is we have been here about almost 40 years in Berkeley. With the 3 children, we raised the 3 children, now all grown up, and we moved to the Rochester Hills, and my first girl who married while we are here, she wanted to live here, so she used to live here. But later on, a few years later, she changed her mind. She went back to Ann Arbor, which she was in the school there. So, and after that, we tried to sell the house, but at that time, the economic condition is so bad that the house value was too low. So we tried to hold. And at the same time, my little one, youngest one, she wanted to have that house later on. So, yeah, okay, and we planned it because of this. Here, the location is the best. We enjoyed that house so much, and always my mind is that house, really so nice. And we planned to, yeah, we kept that house, and for a while the house was empty, and then I was working in a Bowman, in the Royal Oak, and I put up advertisement and had a couple times we tried to rent, but unfortunately it did not work well. Yeah, one day, few months later, they had to go somewhere for the job, and so, and on and off is empty the house, and then about 2 years ago, yeah, and I had to rent it because one of my friend, who is the doctor, he said the friend from Indiana need a house because he has to work here for the fellowship. So okay, so we've very fortunately 2 years they were there. But my girl, she did not have a good job with her career the degree. So she went back to the U of the Mercy for the grade courses. So she finished she get the degree MBA there, and she tried to. It's about 3 years because of her different field of the major, and she is loaded with student loan, and then she tried to find a job, but it's unfortunately now because of the job, she's she has to have a 5 years experience. She's trying to
Now,
get the job.
Mrs. Kim, is there something specifically that you'd like to ask the council or
Yeah.
inform the council?
So she can't afford to live there until she has job. So, and one of my friend here, the Berkley, she need that house because she moved. She tried to move to north, but they changed mind. They want to stay here. Their whole sisters, mother, they live in Berkeley, so they wanted to that house. We thought at this, on and off, we better sell the house. Even my girl likes it, but so we decided to. They are living now since last July, yeah. And then I did not know about the regulation or renting or license. I never thought about that. And then I got the letter that we have to have license for the rent. So that's what I am here. We have to have the rent if she can't afford it because our tax for that house was $5,000 a year. We can't afford that without renting somebody.
Well, let me suggest that you place your phone number and name there on the desk so that someone from the city staff can get back with you
Yeah, okay.
and help you understand the regulations that apply.
Yeah, so
Would that be helpful?
they want me to pay the $300 for license, but we are not permanently the purpose of the renting that house. Just for now, we just do that the 2 years from last year. So, and then my girl, hopefully she had to have a job. She wanted to move in that house.
Well,
Yeah,
hopefully that
so-
will work. But,
Yeah,
but
but-
I think if you left your phone number, that would be a great help. So
Alright.
that someone from city staff can call you and explain what
Yeah.
we need to do.
All right.
And does that seem fair?
All right. Yeah, I hope that they understand our situation. It's not the like a commercially the renting house. No.
Okay.
It's a different.
Very good. Well,
Okay.
thank you for being
Yeah,
here, Mrs.
thank you
Kim.
so much.
Evening. I am just here to announce that the Berkley Rotary Club will be hosting its annual pancake breakfast. It will take place on Saturday, November 7th from 7:30 a.m. to 1 o'clock, and that will take place at the Berkley High School Collaborative Center and Cafeteria. So this will be our second year there. Worked out very well. Tickets are $6 for adults and $3 for children 12 and under. So again, that's Saturday, November 7th from 7:30 to 1. Thank you.
Thank you, Matt. Very good. Then, seeing no one else coming to the microphone, we will close that portion of tonight's meeting and move on to the regular agenda. Ms. Boucher, would you please read item number 1 on the regular agenda?
Recognitions, presentations, matter of recognitions or presentations from the consent agenda.
I don't see any particular presentations that we have or recognitions, so we move on to item number 2, please. Oh, we-
Consent agenda.
Oh, you are correct. You are correct. We forgot. We're getting ahead of ourselves. Such was the level of enthusiasm. We need to approve the consent agenda. Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
Motion to approve. Support.
Moved by Councilmember Blanchard, support by Mayor Pro Tem Terbrack. Ms. Boucher, would you please read the items on the consent agenda?
Approval of the minutes, matter of approving the minutes of the regular 35th City Council meeting on Monday, October 5th, 2015. Warrant, matter of approving warrant number 1295. Ordinance number 00615, matter of considering the second reading of an ordinance to amend Chapter 94 signs, Section 94-11 general requirements, illuminated signs, and Section 94-13 permit procedure of the Berkley City Code. Full copy of this ordinance is posted for 10 days at the Berkley City Hall, Library, and Community Center. Resolution number R3115, matter of accepting a donation from the Berkley Dads and Moms Club for new infield surface material. Resolution number R3215, matter of designating Saturday, December 5th, 2015 for the annual holiday parade and tree lighting ceremony in Berkley.
Well, the motion has been moved by Councilmember Blanchard and supported by Mayor Pro Tem Terbrack. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, then Ms. Boucher, would you please call the roll?
Edgar?
Yes.
Kadekel?
Yes.
Stedman?
Yes.
Turbrack?
Yes.
Baker?
Yes.
Blanchard?
Yes.
O'Dwyer?
Yes. And now we move on to the regular agenda.
Recognitions, presentations, matter of any recognitions or presentations from the consent agenda.
Well, there are still no recognitions. So we move on to item number 2.
Oath of office, matter of appointing Public Safety Director Richard Eschman as the interim city manager for the city of Berkley.
Is there a motion to appoint Chief Eschman as the interim city manager?
Motion.
To appoint Chief Eschman as interim
Motion
city
to
manager.
approve by Councilmember Blanchard with support by Councilmember Stedman. Any discussion on this item? Hearing none. Ms. Boucher, would you please call the roll?
Let's do the oath first.
Kadekel?
Yes.
Stedman?
Yes.
Turbrack?
Yes.
Baker?
Yes.
Blanchard?
Yes.
Edgar?
Yeah.
O'Dwyer?
Yes. And now, Ms. Boucher, would you please swear in Chief Eschman?
Just raise your right hand. I, Richard M. Eschman,
I, Richard M. Eschman,
having been duly appointed as the interim city manager for the city of Berkley,
having been duly appointed as the interim city manager for the city of Berkley,
do hereby solemnly swear
do hereby solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the State of Michigan,
the Constitution of the State of Michigan,
the Charter of the City of Berkley,
the Charter of the City of Berkeley,
and that I will perform the duties of my office to the best of my ability.
and that I will perform the duties of my office to the best of my ability. Thank you. As you're aware, I've been employed by the City of Berkeley for the past 13 years in the Public Safety Department. During that time, I worked with now former City Manager Jane Bice-DeSessa very closely. Hopefully some of her vast knowledge has worn off, and I'll be able to do my job well. I thank you for this opportunity to serve in a different capacity. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. And, yeah.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, Brett.
Thank you, Chief. I already poured your water. Chief.
Oh, we have resolutions. We'll get them after a while. Thank you, Chief. And thank you to all your colleagues from the Public Safety Department who came to support you on this swearing in. And now, Ms. Boucher, we'll move on to item number 3.
Motion number M6815, matter of authorizing the interim city manager to execute an agreement with HRC and Carlisle Wortman Associates Incorporated to update the city's 5-year recreation master plan at a cost not to exceed $10,500 in accordance with its sealed bid dated September 30th, 2015. This expenditure will be charged to account number 101-691-818-000.
Is there a motion to approve M6815?
Motion to approve?
Motion to
Support.
approve by Councilmember Edgar with support by Councilmember Kadekel. Chief.
Thank you, sir. To present this item, we have the interim director of Parks and Recreation, Teresa McCarlton. She will address it.
Good evening, Mayor, Council, Chief. Congratulations. It's been 5 years since our last master plan was updated. As you know, every 5 years, in order to be eligible for state grants, in order to take a look and assess our facilities, our parks, we obviously heard comments tonight about our parks, things like that. We have to do these 5-year plans, and infrastructure, equipment, all those things go into it. We'll be looking for public input. We'll be looking for input from the staff, and with me tonight are Roland, Alex, and Eddie Znich, who are 2 of our engineers from HRC who will be working closely on this project. I'll be working closely with our city planner, Amy Vanson, as well, the rest of our staff. And we're excited to get started. We've got kind of a tight timetable, so we're gonna crank this out pretty fast, but we're gonna do a great job. Technically, they have to be due to the state by March 1st, 2016, so we have a little bit of time to work with in order to be eligible for grants that are then due a month after that. So questions, comments, Eddie and Roland are here to help out with that.
Any questions, discussion for Teresa? Mayor Pro Tem Turbrack.
Not really a question for Teresa, I guess it's more for Roland. If you could kind of briefly walk the residents who are paying attention through a little bit of the process, some of the things that they can expect to hear and to be involved in throughout this process.
Sure. So like Teresa said, this is a plan for 5 years. It's going to be 3 different parts. The first part is a background study and public engagement. So we'll be visiting each of your parks, looking at the current conditions of the park. We'll work with Carlisle Wortman to have a public outreach program. We'll probably schedule we'll try to reach out to people 2 different ways. One would be an online survey, and then the other would be 3 to 4 public engagement sessions, open houses. With that information gleaned from both the on-site investigations and then the meetings with residents, we'll develop a plan of attack, kind of focusing on the services and the needs, establishing the priorities for the parks in the future. And then the third step is actually developing the plan. Kind of the key things that we'll be looking for are goals for the existing parks, goals for maybe future parks, looking at the recreational programs, the administration needs of the Parks and Recs department, and then the other big one is funding goals, trying to determine what state and federal grant funds are out there, different ways to increase revenue for the park system. And then ultimately that plan would be presented to the Parks and Rec Advisory Committee. We're hoping to have an interim meeting with that Parks and Rec Advisory Committee. The preliminary plan would then be put on display at City Hall for residents to come and review for 30 days, and then we'd finalize that plan, present it to both the Advisory Committee and then ultimately the City Council.
Thank you.
Yep.
Very good. Councilor Blanchard.
Thank you, Your Honor. Just a quick question. What's the timeline for completing the 5-year plan?
The timeline for completing the plan, so the plan has to be complete and in the state's hands by March 1st, 2016.
We'll meet that goal.
We will work aggressively to meet that goal, yes. So that's why it's important that it gets approved tonight, and we'll start hitting the ground tomorrow running.
Very good. Councilor Architect.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. You said the plans will be here at City Hall. Will they also be at the community center?
Yes, yes, we could make them available multiple places.
Thank you.
We could also make them available online, the draft versions.
Thank you.
Councilor Baker.
Thank you, Your Honor, and thank you guys for coming out today and helping explain a little bit more about the process. And thank you for shepherding us through this and bringing it here before us tonight and helping lead us down the path. I had a similar question along those same lines about the community engagement and outreach, and certainly having the materials available for feedback or reaction is a good thing, and we certainly should continue to do things like that. I'm wondering to what extent, if you could touch a little bit on some of the proactive or outreach opportunities that we could use with technology in particular amongst the websites and those kinds of things. I know some of our neighboring communities, like Southfield, just revamped their city's master plan, which is different than the Parks and Rec plan, but they used a progressive technology platform to create a website. Sustainable Southfield is what it was called, and it received tremendous feedback from the residents to engage them as part of the process. Those who may not, for whatever reason, have been able to make it in person, and for those who were just curious and wanted to read items and add comments to it. I'm not sure the extent to which we could incorporate those kind of things, but I'd love to get your thoughts on how we can, in addition to having, traditional brick and mortar people show up and maybe there's some cider or something like that, cider and donuts or whatever, and additional ways to engage different demographics of our community.
That's a great point, that a lot of people are comfortable expressing their views in different ways. So some people are comfortable coming today like these great residents have and speaking in front of the council. Not everybody's comfortable in that way. So we would definitely explore some maybe social media type of aspects and things. Obviously with the mobile platforms, your phones, iPads, things like that. We'll try to reach out to people that way. We don't have a set plan as how to do that yet, but that will be part of this initiative.
Great.
Yeah, but I like the idea looking to, you said Southfield was a...
Yes, Sustainable Southfield is what it's called, and they use a platform. They didn't write it themselves. They licensed it out to a company that does this for communities around the country. And so those kinds of platforms are similar to social media, as you pointed out. It's focused on helping the community to explore its visions and objectives, and to put up forth the proposals and timelines and plans, and get good, honest, open feedback to kind of crowdsource that thing. So it's a great approach. Would welcome any opportunity you guys could to help us explore how we can engage our community in new and exciting ways.
Yeah.
Thank you.
One of the sites actually is SurveyMonkey. I don't know if you're familiar with that site, but a lot of communities and groups are starting to use that site to put out questionnaires to their residents or to groups of people. So that, I think, would be one of the best ways initially to put a survey online, and we can set your website up.
I think that certainly is it's a tremendous platform for soliciting input. One of the things that these additional platforms offer is the ability to see other people's input. SurveyMonkey is a great way to receive it, but you don't get to see what anybody else says. And with an open platform where the comments are posted and everybody can see them and add comments and things, it's an additive ingredient to the mix that we're cooking up here. So thank you for that.
Yeah, thank you, Councilman.
Any additional questions, discussion on this item? Thank you all for being here and getting us on the path to be ready for March 1st.
Indeed.
Next year. Ms. Boucher, will you please call the roll on M6815?
Stedman?
Yes.
Turbrack?
Yes.
Baker?
Yes.
Blanchard?
Yes.
Edgar?
Yes.
Kadeco?
Yes.
O'Dwyer?
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Ms. Boucher, would you please read item number 4?
Motion number M6915, matter of authorizing the Berkley Lions Club to conduct a fundraiser from Friday, November 27th through Saturday, November 28th at the intersection of 12 Mile and Coolidge Highway. During these days, representatives of the Berkley Lions Club will wear reflective vests.
Is there a motion to approve M6915?
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve by Councilor
Support.
Blanchard, support by Mayor Pro Tem Turbrack.
Mr. Mayor,
Okay, Mr.
I'm sorry.
Councilman.
I'd like to abstain from this vote as I'm president of the organization, so I will withdraw from any discussion.
Very good. And is that okay with everybody else on the council, that he be allowed to do that? Hearing an affirmative, that's fine. Then Chief.
Okay. We're very happy to bring this to you again. This is a regular event for a very worthy cause.
Mhm.
And to address this, Deputy Chief Mike Crum. Come up.
Good evening. There is a memo on your desks regarding the Berkley Lions Club. Miss Kathy Graham is the secretary. She requested permission to collect donations at Thanksgiving weekend from various locations. From 12 and Coolidge at various days, the 27th and 28th. The collections will be within the ordinance from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. They did indicate that the donations go to 3 charities: the Leader Dogs for the Blind, William Beaumont Hospital's Children's Silent Fund, and the Penn Richten Center for Blind Children. They do have training for all their individuals. They do wear the reflective vests. One issue we had was the current paperwork on the tax exemption. All the other paperwork is turned in. They have assured me they will have that paperwork very soon. And so the recommendation today is that we approve it conditionally upon receipt of the updated tax exempt paperwork with final approval by the interim city manager.
Thank you. Any questions? Discussion?
We'll have to amend the motion, won't we?
We will have to amend the motion. So,
I move that we amend the motion to include conditional approval
Pending.
upon submission of the paperwork and give the city manager the authority to sign off when the paperwork is complete.
okay, very good. Is that okay? Well, is that okay with the seconder?
Yes.
It's okay with the seconder. The maker of the motion and the seconder, that amendment is acceptable. Any additional discussion? Hearing none, then Ms. Boucher, would you please call the roll on M6915?
Turbrack,
Yes.
Baker,
Yes.
Blanchard,
Yes.
Edgar,
Yes.
Hideko,
Yeah,
Abstaining.
none abstaining.
I'm sorry, Stedman,
Yes.
O'Dwyer.
Yes. And now, Ms. Boucher, would you please read item number 5?
Motion number M7015, matter of authorizing the Second Chance Network, 28855 Van Dyke, number 213, Warren, Michigan, 48093, to hold a solicitation charity drive in the city of Berkeley on Wednesday, November 4th through Saturday, November 7th, and Monday, December 21st through Thursday, December 24th, from 8 a.m. to 7 p.m. Approval is conditional upon the required items and documents being in place prior to dates of solicitation.
Is there a motion to approve M7015?
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve by Councilmember Stedman.
Support.
Support by Councilmember Edgar. Chief Eshman.
Yes. This is another charitable collection issue to benefit the homeless in Michigan. Again, Deputy Chief Mike Crum will address this.
Thank you. Second Chance Network has requested, similar to what Lions Club requested, the ability to stand on some of our corners and to collect donations for the homeless. Miss Jamie Spinazzola is the president of the network. She indicated the funds go to shelter, food, clothes, and jobs for the homeless in Michigan. They did request several dates here at 2 different times, November 4th through the 7th, and then again in December 21st through the 24th. And they anticipate having a lot of volunteers and would like several more locations. They're all listed here, but 12 in Coolidge, 12 in Greenfield, 11 in Coolidge, 11 in Greenfield, 11 in Woodward, and Coolidge and Catalpa. I have spoken with them. They do train their people to stay out of the road, to wear the proper reflective equipment as required. The times, she indicated that although asking for that late, when it gets dark, that they would be out of the intersections once it's dark at those times.
Very good. Any questions, any discussion on this item?
Thank you, Your Honor.
Councilmember Blanchard.
Is anybody here from the organization?
No.
The question I have, in the past, this organization has used homeless people to do the collections, and by our ordinance, we say that the people collecting cannot benefit from the money they collect. In fact, I'm looking right here at a document submitted by the Lions Club, and they say, "I solemnly swear that no solicitor will be paid directly, indirectly, a salary, wage, commission, or benefit from his or her service." That's per our ordinance. Now, I don't know how we handle this if the people that are soliciting are the homeless that are getting the benefit from this. I'd ask the attorney, but Mr. Attorney is sick this evening.
That's right. Chief?
Yes. We are addressing that with the organization to see if they can have substitute people that are not going to be direct recipients of the contributions.
So that, in other words, it is likely possible that the people are collecting here may not be recipients at the time. They may be recipients at another time. Is that?
That will be part of the follow-up, is to ensure that compliance with that part of our ordinance.
Okay. So then that will be part of what we're approving here, that compliance to your satisfaction.
Yes.
Is that?
They also have not provided their documentation.
Paperwork as well.
And the paperwork is not complete.
So is there an amendment to the motion now?
Well, this one already says provisional, I believe.
Correct. Okay.
But I think we should make an amendment to the motion to say that if the paperwork is in place, the authority of the city manager to do the final approval. That is not in the original motion, so I'd like to add that.
So you'd like to make that amendment. Is that acceptable to Councilmember Stedman, who made the motion?
Yes, it is.
And to Councilmember Edgar, who supported it?
Yes.
Very good. Any additional discussion? Hearing none, then Ms. Boucher, would you please call the roll on M7015?
Baker?
Yes.
Blanchard?
Yes.
Edgar?
Yes.
Hideko?
Yes.
Stedman?
Yes.
Turbrack?
Yes.
O'Dwyer?
Yes. Now, Ms. Boucher, would you please read item number 6?
Motion number M7115, matter of authorizing the interim city manager to execute an agreement with Communications Brokers Incorporated, CBI, to conduct an IT telecommunications billing audit for the city of Berkeley.
Is there a motion to approve M7115?
Move to approve.
Move to approve by Councilmember Hideko.
Support.
Support by Councilmember Baker. Chief Eshman.
Yes, this is an IT issue, and it's best handled by the IT coordinator for the city, Stan Lasica, who happens to be here.
Yeah, what a coincidence.
Stan.
Good evening, Council and Mayor. I'm coming to you regarding services contract to essentially take a look at our telecommunications, specifically with our phone system. This is strictly landlines. We're going through all the communications related invoices as far as fax machines, wireless. This is the wired component. This company particularly is from, was selected off of the Oakland County Purchasing Cooperative. They have done Oakland County. I've spoken, and in your council packet there is a memo regarding their process. And I also spoke to somebody from the superintendent from Oscoda County, or Oscoda Township, and he was very pleased. His community is about 110 square miles with about 7,000 people, and they were able to find savings for them also. So I'm looking forward to potentially finding some savings as far as lowering operational costs and kind of streamlining for possibly a future phone system replacement in the next year or two. I want to point out particularly that if they don't find any savings, they do not charge us. And that's probably the most important thing. Secondly, any savings has to be verifiable, has to actually go to our accounts. They do not receive the money. We receive the money, and we actually have to have it in our hands via either a check, a refund, or some type of credit to our bill.
Very good. Any questions for our IT director? Councilmember Blanchard.
Thank you, Your Honor. You mentioned, and would like to tie this in so the residents can hear it, that we're now putting in fiber optic cable, which will give us the benefit of changing our phone system in the future.
Yes, correct.
And this will be help in planning that out?
Yes, this is going to streamline that process. I know there is, if you read the agreement, they are excluded from any savings regarding the fiber because we will be canceling. We already know that. We've already done that assessment, so they will not receive any savings. This is strictly as far as rates or any type of errors retroactive.
Thank you.
Good. Councilmember Baker.
Thank you, Your Honor. Thank you for being here tonight and for helping move these kinds of things forward. I think this is a great example of the kinds of things that we do, regardless of where we're at in the city, of recognizing that this is the taxpayers' money, and these are the kinds of things that we want to be very prudent of. And also, thank you for negotiating it to this way, where the only funds they receive, I think your memo indicates 30% of the savings, which still is 70% to the city of what we otherwise have been spending without having the focus on it. So I think that's very fair, because they'll bring their expertise in and make this happen. Do you have an approximate time frame around when this would begin and when it would end? Does it take years to do this, or months, or days, or hours?
They're going to take a look, probably go back at least 6 months to take a look as far as they're going to do an audit as far as how many lines, that sort of thing. It could take 3 to 6 months just to get some type of bearing, and then monitor any future invoices over the year.
So what they'll do is they'll look back in time over the invoices for 6 months or so. How long will the actual audit process itself take? Is that a couple of weeks, or is that a couple of days?
It's going to take a couple months. Depending on, I know, as far as achieving any refunds or anything, depending on the Telecommunications Act, any type of state of Michigan telecommunication laws, they might be only able to go back maybe a year or two, depending on the refunds and the type of errors that they could possibly find. So we could be talking as far as looking back 2 or 3 years, but the overall audit should take approximately, less than a year. So.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Very good. Thank you. Seeing no additional discussion, then we will please call the roll on M7115.
Blanchard.
Yes.
Edgar.
Yes.
Kadeko.
Yes.
Stedman.
Yes.
Turbrack.
Yes.
Baker.
Yes.
O'Dwyer.
Yes. And now, Ms. Bowers, would you please read item number 7?
Motion number M7215, matter of appointing the Communications Coordinator, Chelsea Humphrey, as the City of Berkeley's representative, and IT Coordinator, Stan Lissica, as the alternate for the Community Media Network, CMN, and to instruct the City Clerk to send a copy of this motion to CMN.
Is there a motion to approve M7215?
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve by Councilmember Stedman, with support by Councilmember Edgar. Chief Eshman.
Yes, this is simply what it says, to assign board members to the CMN. We have, again, Stan Lissica, who will be the alternate.
Yes.
Good. Is there any discussion for
Questions?
this item? Any questions? We are very confident that we will be well represented. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Ms. Boucher, would you please call the roll on M7215?
Edgar.
Yes.
Kadeko.
Yes.
Stedman.
Yes.
Turbrack.
Yes.
Baker.
Yes.
Blanchard.
Yes.
O'Dwyer.
Yes. And now, Ms. Boucher, would you please read item number 8?
Motion number M7315, matter of authorizing a contract with Library Design Associates Incorporated, 1149 South Main Street, Plymouth, Michigan, 48170, to add a door to the young adult room, lower the height of the adult computer workstation, and add 8 chairs to the adult computer workstations, modify the children's computer workstations, expand the book sale shelving area, and reupholster 63 chair seats for a cost not to exceed $22,216. $11,056 will be paid building maintenance 101-738-931-000, and $11,150 will be paid from capital outlay 815-940-976-738.
Is there a motion to approve M70?
May I, Mr. Mayor, if I may?
Yes.
Thank you, sir.
Mr. Director.
There's a correction there's a typo on the general fund account. Before you make the motion, I
Okay.
want to make sure that
And
you
what is
get
the
it.
correction?
I should be 101-738-976-000.
Very good.
Thank you, Your Honor.
976. Thank you for that technical correction. And now, given that correction, is there a motion to approve M7315?
Move to approve.
Move to approve by Councilmember Kadeko.
Support.
Support by Councilmember Stedman. Chief Eshman.
Well, fortunately, we have the library director. Always bring backup.
Absolutely. Always bring backup.
All right, thank you. An RFP was issued on September 10th, going out for several library building projects that were just outlined. adding a door to the young adult room. I had two options of either lowering the height of the adult computer workstations or building new computer workstations for the adults, then adding 8 to 10 chairs to those workstations, modifying the children's computer workstations, expanding our book sale shelving area, and reupholstering 63 chair seats. So the bid was posted on the Michigan Intergovernmental Trade Network, Mitten, and the city's website. The bid went out to 260 companies through Mitten, and then a mandatory pre-bid meeting was held on September 16th. We had 5 companies come to that mandatory pre-bid meeting. Each component of the bid could be bid on separately, so responding companies could pick just 1 or 2 things or the entire scope of work. The 3 proposals were received and opened on September 30th. We received 1 bid for the young adult room door, and then a reupholstery bid, and then Library Design Associates bid on the entire scope of work. And Library Design Associates was the low bidder for each of the project components, so I'm recommending that we proceed with them. I've worked with them in the past. They've done work in Berkeley and done a very good job. And then it's worth noting that the bid amounts were below the budgeted dollars for the projects.
Thank you, Matt. Are there any questions for our library director? Any discussion? Councilor Blanchard.
Thank you, Your Honor. What's the timeline for completion of the work, Matt?
Right now, we're looking at November 11th, Veterans Day. The library will be closed, so it'll be a minimal impact to the public. They would be coming in on that day to lower the adult computer workstations. We're looking at 1 or 2 days for that project, and then 1 or 2 days for the lowering of the modification of the children's computer workstations. So we're going to hit those 2 areas first. Everything will be wrapped up early in 2016. It takes some time for ordering for some of these items.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Seeing no additional questions, thank you for being here.
Thank you very much.
And we will now call the roll on this item, M7315.
Hidalgo,
Yes.
Stedman,
Yes.
Turbrack,
Yes.
Baker,
Yes.
Blanchard,
Yes.
Edgar,
Yes.
O'Dwyer.
Yes. And now, Ms. Boucher, would you please read item number 9?
Resolution number R3315, matter of authorizing amendment of the 2015-2016 operating budget, those operating funds as presented.
Is there a motion to approve R3315?
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve by Councilmember Blanchard, with support by Councilmember Hidalgo. Chief Eshman.
Yes. As always, this matter will be handled by the Finance Director, Mr. David Sabuda.
Thank you, Chief. Thank you, Your Honor. Good evening, Mayor and council members. Tonight before you, you have 6 budget amendments. 1 is a carry forward from 14-15, and then 5 new amendments. We're looking to increase spending in fiscal year 15-16 by $121,000. Item A is the carry forward amendment, and basically what this does is bring funds forward from 14-15 into 15-16 to fund the fiber optic cable program. Item B, you have a budget amendment which is going to fund the conversion of the city telephone system in the amount of $5,600 to work with the fiber optic system. And basically what is happening here, we're going to migrate the telephone system in and attach those telephones into the fiber optic cable line. Item C is IT coordinator had unanticipated conference expenses of $750. He is eliminating funds in contractual services in order to fund those additional meetings and conference expenses. Item D, we will not have a third election. So expenses in the city clerk's department will be reduced by $6,000. However, there is some equipment that is required to carry election supplies and ballots that we will be purchasing for a cost of $1,800. So there's a net savings of approximately $4,200 from item D. Item E is the funding of the employment search for the city manager with MML. Those funds are being appropriated. And finally, your last item is an emergency purchase for Freon at the ice arena. Be happy to answer any and all questions that the council may have.
Any question for our finance director? Does, so an election costs about $6,000. Is that
Approximately.
give or take?
Yes, sir.
That's always good to know.
Yes.
It's a good expenditure as we're about to come up on an election now in a couple of weeks.
Absolutely.
Make sure we have our $6,000.
Yes, sir.
Very good. And no additional discussion on this very obvious item. It's squaring up the books, basically. Then, Ms. Boucher, would you please call the roll on R3315?
Stedman?
Yes.
Turbrack?
Yes.
Baker?
Yes.
Blanchard?
Yes.
Edgar?
Yes.
Kadeco?
Yes.
O'Dwyer?
Yes. And now we come to the communications portion of tonight's meeting, and the Mayor Pro Tem is up first.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. First, I'd like to read a resolution that was part of the consent agenda earlier today. It's Resolution R3115. A resolution of the Council of the City of Berkley, Michigan, accepting a donation from the Berkley Dads and Moms Club for new infield surface material. Whereas the City of Berkley Parks and Recreation Department is accepting a donation from the Berkley Dads and Moms Club for new infield surface material. The Dads Club is donating 82 tons of material at a cost of $7,560, while the Moms Club is donating 42 tons at a cost of $3,780 to be used on community and merchants ball fields to give them a much-needed facelift and to make the fields more friendly and safe, user-friendly and safe. Whereas this work will greatly improve the overall field use, now, therefore, the City of Berkley resolves, Section 1, that the City Council of the City of Berkley accept the very generous donations made by the Berkley Moms and Berkley Dads Club to improve our ball fields. And Section 2, the Parks and Recreation Department and City Council are extremely grateful for all that the Berkley Moms and Dads Club do in the city and for this particular donation to improve our fields. Introduced and passed at a regular City Council meeting on Monday, October 19th, 2015. Phil O'Dwyer, Mayor. Certainly the Moms and Dads Club contribute all kinds of time and effort and a lot of serious money to our city, to our fields, to our Parks and Recreation Department. We are very thankful for everything that they do. And it almost seems kind of silly that we have to have a resolution to accept their donation, but we want the resolution more so thanking them for what they do, less about accepting the donation, more about thanking them for everything that they do. So thank you to the Moms and Dads Club. A couple things coming up at the Parks and Rec Department that I want to remind everybody of. The 2015 Craft Show is Saturday, October 24th. That is from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. It's free admission. Wander throughout the Berkley Community Center. Enjoy a variety of booths featuring crafts galore. And again, that is Saturday, October 24th from 9 to 3, and it's free. Great price. 2015 Halloween Spooktacular is coming up Thursday, October 29th. There are 2 sessions available from 5 to 6 p.m. and from 6:30 to 7:30 p.m. It's $4 per child, includes a picture with the Great Pumpkin. Tickets are on sale now. Contact the Parks and Rec Department again. That's Thursday, October 29th, Halloween Spooktacular, 5 to 6 p.m. or 6:30 to 7:30 p.m. Learn to skate classes are going on at the Berkley Ice Arena Sundays beginning November 8th. So everyone that wants to learn how to skate, Sundays beginning November 8th. There's going to be an 8-week session. It is from 4 to 4:50 p.m. It's $100 per session. And there's a one-time $15 fee. Figure skating fee and rental skates are available for an additional cost. Who doesn't want to learn how to skate? Great time coming up in November. It's going to be, snowy, cold probably then. Good time to ice skate. So, fantastic. And finally, I want to thank Sarah, Terry, and everybody else who may have been here from the Angel PTA to talk about the play structure and get some things moving on that. We are certainly aware of the situation as council. You mentioned a report. I have just a brief portion of that report. I'm going to read just a small excerpt right now. To bring the play structure into compliance, it says, it will require major modifications and upgrades This work can only be done with the material support and guidance of the manufacturer. Even with this support, the work is likely to be costly and time-consuming. We're aware of that. It is going to be costly. I'm sure you're aware of that as well. Time-consuming. We are working with the school district. We are in communication with the school district. We're trying to resolve. There's a drainage situation that we want to work out first before we, invest in this play structure. But it is something that is very important to us and something that we are concerned with, not something that we're just letting go. There are, as somebody, I think as Terry mentioned, the wheels of government sometimes tend to move slowly. Those wheels as much as we possibly can, but there are some things that we do need to work out before. But it is important to the council, and it is something that we are concerned with. So I do want to thank you for coming today. And as we're talking about investing, this is an investment in our infrastructure, investment for our kids. There's a number of things in the city that we need to look at investing in. We're going to have some discussions with roads, waters, and facilities, a lot of things. But these are things that we, as a council, take very seriously, things that we are planning for, and things that we are figuring out how we can accomplish what's best for the residents. So thank you.
Thank you very much. Councilman Redger.
Just short today. Just want to welcome the chief. Thank you for sitting in for us. And thank Matt Church, as always, for his diligent work at the library. And I think, as badly as I feel, the least I say, the least I infect.
Councilmember.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I too want to welcome you,
Yeah,
Chief.
I know.
And hope you enjoy the seat up here for a few months. Ms. Cinda Kuhn, I have something I'm going to read, so if you want to make any quick comment after. It's a resolution of the Council of the City of Berkley, Michigan, designating Saturday, December 5th for the annual holiday parade and tree lighting ceremony in Berkley. Whereas the annual Berkley Christmas Parade was established by City Council and continues as a result of the hard work of the Berkley Holiday Parade Committee, which is dedicated to continuing this much anticipated holiday event in Berkley. And whereas, in good spirit, the Berkley Holiday Committee seeks council approval for use of certain city streets as it presents its annual Holiday Lights Parade for the enjoyment of Berkley residents. And whereas the annual tree lighting ceremony was also established by City Council in order to bring local residents together in the spirit of the holiday season. The Berkley Junior Women's Club intends to continue its tradition of sponsoring the annual tree lighting ceremony, listen closely kids, and a visit from Santa immediately following the parade on the front lawn of City Hall. And whereas prior to the parade, young children will be treated to a petting zoo from 2 p.m. until 5 p.m. Immediately after the tree lighting, nostalgic carriage rides will carry passengers on decorated Berkley neighborhoods, leaving from City Hall area on Rosemont. The rides will go east on Rosemont to Mortensen, south on Mortensen to Beverly, west on Beverly to Henley, and Henley north to Rosemont and back to City Hall. Got that? Now, therefore, the City of Berkley resolves, Section 1, that the Council of the City of Berkley be and hereby designate Saturday, December 5th, 2015 for the annual holiday parade, which will begin at 5:30 p.m. And all local residents are urged to assemble at 5 o'clock p.m. along the following parade route to begin this festive evening welcoming the holidays to Berkley. East on 12 Mile Road from Cummings to the intersection of 12 Mile Road and Coolidge, concluding at City Hall where the parade will disband and the tree lighting ceremony will commence. Section 2, that the City of Berkley and the County of Oakland, Michigan will faithfully fulfill all permit requirements and shall save, harmless, indemnify, defend, and represent the board against any and all claims for bodily injury or property damage, or any other claim arising out of or related to operations authorized by such permits as issued. Section 3, that the city clerk is directed to forward a copy of this resolution to the Road Commission for Oakland County on behalf of the city of Berkley in the county of Oakland, Michigan, for the necessary approval of the Berkley Holiday Committee to conduct said parade. Introduced and passed at a regular city council meeting on Monday, October 19th, 2015. Phil O'Dwyer, Mayor. Some of my other communications also, can she say something? Yes, you can. Has that ever stopped you before?
You said it all, basically. You have the date. The only thing I want to add is it costs us a lot of money to put on this parade. And we are planning a fundraiser, and we would like to invite all of you and everybody else to come to Patrick Jay's, who he is graciously offering up his facility. And that will be on Thursday, November the 5th. We'll be starting at 5 p.m. until, I think, 9. I'm not sure. But we definitely invite you all, and we invite you all to the Holiday Lights Parade and the tree lighting ceremony. I do have some sad news that our wonderful, wonderful Santa Claus that we have had for years and years and years is very sick. And Alan, your face is like mine because he is Santa to us. But we have been assured that we have a very nice elf that's going to come in his place, and he hopes to be back with us next year. Thank you.
Thanks, Cinda.
Also on October 24th, the Berkley Huntington Woods Youth Assistants will be having their Moms to Moms Club at the high school. So while you're making your rounds, from the high school to the library and to the craft show, it's a great Saturday. On October 27th at 7:00 p.m., the Lions will be having their meeting at the community center because there's going to be a guest speaker speaking about hearing situations and hearing aids and how you can go about getting them. I know before our next meeting, Councilmember Blanchard, happy birthday. And on a sad note, longtime resident, pitching coach for the Berkeley Bears, alumnus from Berkeley High School, Steve Baker, passed away this past weekend. And he's been a staple in our community. And my heart goes out to his wife, Robin, his daughters, Jordan and Jenna, and his son, Jacob. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Councilman.
Thank you, Your Honor, and thank you for mentioning that as well. It is odd that there was actually two Steve Bakers on the same street, as a matter of fact, and it was deeply saddening news when I heard that as well. And so my condolences go to him, his family as well, and thank you for mentioning that. Chief, welcome aboard. Glad to see you in this new role here. Thank you for joining us here. And I do also want to thank the residents that came out and spoke about the pesticides and chemicals and things like that. I think that's really important that we can and should look into and see what we can do either differently or not do that kind of stuff. So thank you for coming out to both Lisa and Latrell for your time with that, and all those that you represent. Thank you for that. I just had a couple other quick comments as well. I'm sure others will mention, but I just want to foreshadow congratulations for those who recently received recognitions at the recent State of the City address. Coco Fairfields on 12 Mile received the Business of the Year. April McCrum and Matt Church both were Business People of the Year. And thanks to the Chamber for sponsoring it and the Mayor for representing us so well at that event. It was fantastic. The Downtown Development Authority Board, DDA, met last week and continued progress on the Robina Plaza initiative. You heard before about some of the traffic studies that's going on there, receiving good feedback on that. Our historical committee continues to make progress in digitizing and preserving our many photos and papers and artifacts like that. We have some top-notch volunteers in there that are doing some great things to preserve history the right way. There's a special kind of folders and sleeves and stuff that you put the artifacts in to preserve them so that they can last through time here, and I'm really pleased that they bring such professionalism to this noble cause. On the transit front, our Regional Transit Authority, the RTA, is having another round of open houses. So the open houses are what they call a drop-in event, where you can show up at any time between a window here, and this will be from 4 o'clock to 8 o'clock, to learn more about what's going on in the region, about providing a safe, affordable, reliable transportation options for those to get around, not just our Woodward Avenue. You've heard me talk about Woodward Avenue for a long time now, but in addition to Woodward, there's also Gratiot, Michigan Avenue, and many other thoroughfares that the regional transit needs to see. So that event is coming up this week's Thursday, October 22nd, from 4 o'clock to 8 o'clock, just down the street at the Detroit Zoo. So if you're interested in learning more about what's going on with the RTA, what's going on with transit, provide your input and opinion on the designs that are being discussed, please head on down, and look forward to seeing you at the zoo. And I'll close with a quick quote from Robert Pelton, who said, "Tomorrow is your reward for being safe today." Again, tomorrow is your reward for being safe today. Now, the month of October is Fire Awareness and Prevention Month, and we do a great job in the city of providing that information and activities and things for our residents and young ones to participate in. And another type of safety that you've heard me mention on occasion, and I'm going to get behind that wheel again, and that's on driving safety. Continues to see progress in many ways, but still some really scary behavior out there from folks. I just want to ask you to think about, if not for yourself and your own tomorrow, then think about other people's tomorrows as they're trying to do the right thing with the notion of distracted driving. 3 kinds. There's the visual distractions, where you just take your eyes off the road. There's a manual, where like you move your arms to go do something. And there's cognitive, when you're just off in space somewhere, like that kind of a thing. And involving like cell phones and texting usually takes a combination of all 3 of those. You've heard me speak before about 5 seconds away from looking. 5 seconds. That was almost 5 seconds right there. You cover the distance of an entire football field blindfolded when you look away for 5 seconds while you drive. That is scary business. Please be safe out there. Please be cognizant of one another. If you want to learn more about distracted driving, there's a website called distraction.gov. Distraction.gov. You can get lots of more information and things to think about. And there's another website called itcanwait.com, where you can take the pledge to just put the phone away. Try it for a week. See how much better you feel and how much safer you are. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Stedman.
Okay, everybody's probably been used to me paying compliments to Matt Church all of the time for his wonderful programs that he brings to the library, but I'd like to read you a letter that he received from a patron tonight instead. She went to the program that the Friends of the Library brought on October 12th, where Cranbrook brought in bats. There were 96 people that attended this program, and here's what she said. Hi, Matt. I just wanted to send a huge thank you to you and everyone else that brought the bats to the library yesterday evening. My kids, ages 8, 6, and 4, had an absolute blast and learned so much. I'm not going to lie, I had a great time too. All the effort that was put into organizing and bringing the bats to us was definitely worth the smiles it brought to an incredible amount of people last night. Please send my thank you to all who were involved in organizing this event. Thanks again, Lindsay H. So it's nice to get letters from residents, and I just wanted to read that and bring that up. Also, this weekend is the Friends of the Library book sale at the library. The dates for it are Friday, The 23rd, it's going to run from 4 o'clock until 7 o'clock. On Saturday, the 24th, it's going to be from 10 until 6. And on Sunday, the 25th, it will be from 12 until 4. So sometime during the day when you've, gone to the craft show, just stop over at the library and buy a few books. Thank you, that's all.
Thank you. Councilmember Blanchard.
Thank you, Your Honor. A couple of things. One, coming up soon is Halloween, and I'd like to piggyback on what Councilmember Baker said about safety. Make sure that when the kids are out there, they're able to be seen, not dressed in all black, that they may carry some sort of illumination. And also this time of the year, we rake all our leaves into the street. And kids like to play in leaves. So when you're driving, be very careful, not only on Halloween, but all the time, that there's not some kids out there playing. I know my grandchildren, they weren't in the street, but they had a big pile of leaves raked up, and now they're spread all over my yard again, but that's a different story. But they had a lot of fun. So watch the driving in the leaves and watch the kids at Halloween. I also like to thank the people that came to talk about the spring. We are looking at that. In fact, right here I have all the MSDS sheets. I've been reading these and going over them. We're looking at them. There's no more spraying scheduled this year, so we're taking a look at that. We haven't made any decision on it yet, but we will look into it and make sure that we do what's best for the city and for the residents. We're not trying to poison anybody. So thank you for coming and sharing with us.
Thank you. Chief Eshman.
Only I would like to repeat my appreciation to you for trusting this position to me. Thank you.
Thank you.
And Deputy Chief Mike Crum, who has taken over many of my responsibilities in the Public Safety Department, doing the heavy lifting on my behalf. Thank you, Mike. That's all.
Very good. Thank you. And our Finance Director, Mr. Sabuda.
Thank you, Your Honor. I just wanted to welcome the Chief aboard. Looking forward to working with you in your new position. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Our city attorney is ill this evening, and I know lots of people are down with colds and flus, an unusual amount, and I think it may be because of the kind of rapidly changing temperatures. But we miss all of them and hope that they're all feeling better. Now, the search for a new city manager is underway, and this is going to be a national search. And when you embark upon a search like this, you really have to think about what you're looking for before you start searching, so that you improve the likelihood that you find what you want. And to that end, we have engaged the Michigan Municipal League staff who specialize in that effort. And they spent most of the day here today speaking with residents, department heads, and the city council, so that each different group gave expression to what they envisioned as the skill set, the personal characteristics, and the qualities they would like. It appears it comes down to this, that the new city manager must be able to walk on water.
In the summertime.
That's right, in the summertime.
Winter, it's easy.
But it is this time invested on the front end of this journey is critically important, so that we end up in a place that is well thought out and find someone that is compatible with our community and brings a skill set that continues to keep Berkeley moving from 28th best in the country, moving closer to the #1 spot in America. And helping that, of course, is the City Council, and I'm very glad that we have allocated those $6,000 for the election. It's coming up on November 3rd. So a word to the residents, we are spending $6,000 of your dollars. Please consider showing up to vote then, because we're going to be spending this kind of money anyway. So we might as well take advantage of the moment, express your opinion about the candidates that are out there running for office. And with that, is there a motion to adjourn?
Move to adjourn.
Move to adjourn by Councilmember Cadeckel.
Support.
Support by Councilmember Stedman. Ms. Boucher, would you please call the roll?
Turbrack,
Yes.
Stedman,
Yes.
Baker,
Yes.
Blanchard,
Yes.
Edgar?
Yes.
Kadeco?
Yes.
O'Dwyer?
Yes. The October 19th, 2015 meeting is adjourned. Thank you.